AITA for letting my brother go hungry to make a point? I'm 29. My brother Sam is 27. Our sister Amy is 32. And Sam's wife, Nora, is 26. I don't like Nora at all. She's lazy, nosy, a know-it-all, and lacks all social skills. Once Amy and I were debating about the best way to sear a steak when Nora injected herself into our conversation and tried to explain to us the exact method and type of pan to use. I didn't call her out, but I silently asked myself, what the hell does she know about cooking steak? She's a vegan. Another time Nora asked me about my 401k account and how much I have in it. Again, I was silently thinking to myself about how rude she was for asking about how much money I have in there. Not much BTW. No matter what you're talking about, she'll have something to say. Another time she was talking about dinosaurs for a good hour at dinner. We all just sat there, long after we were done eating, to be polite, but no one talked because no one cared about dinosaurs, and she never paused to take a breath to give anyone a chance to change the topic. Worst of all, she's a stay-at-home wife, not a stay-at-home mom. They have no kids. A stay-at-home wife. There's nothing wrong with her physically to prevent her from working. She claimed she has anxiety that prevents her from working. I'm not a doctor, but I don't see any anxiety when she's shopping at Target or out at the beach. During our family outings, normally I wouldn't concern myself with Sam's family, but it's affecting me. I don't see anything wrong with a one-income family as long as that income can support that family. In Sam's case, his income can't support him and his wife. I've had to loan him money at least a dozen times since he married Nora. They're always short on the rent or don't have money for the utility bills or whatever. Last week Sam asked to borrow $50 for lunch for the week because he's short again. I love my kid brother, but I had enough. I told him no and that he would have lunch money if his lazy wife works. We argued because he took offense at me calling her lazy. He later told Amy about our argument and she yelled at me for willing to let him go hungry. She loaned him the money. I told her he needs to go hungry to see that his wife is a leech. AITA? NTA, a loaf of bread and jar of PB doesn't cost $50. He needs to live within his means. He needs a second job or his wife needs a first one. NTA for not loaning him the money. But you're not very good at disguising your open contempt for your SIL. Info. Is Nora ASD autistic? Everything else aside, if it is your money, you do what you want. They are grown-ups. They are married. They need to figure it out. If they are having problems while she is a stay-at-home wife, thank God she's not a stay-at-home mom. NTA. YTA. Letting your brother go hungry? That's so dramatic. You created a situation where he is relying on you for money. You think you get to judge his marriage. You sound like a controlling and manipulative drama queen. NTA. Your reading of the situation is yours and he's a grown man. You're not letting him go hungry. You're not spotting him $50 to make a point. Now I will say that you don't know what anxiety looks like, and it's a good thing that you don't see anxiety when she's with your family. That might where she feels safe in the world. Lovely option. Or she's really good at holding it together around her husband's family and actually it's an exhausting experience for her. Awful option. So you're in awe. But not loaning your brother $50 isn't why. It's being annoyed that she has opinions and different social norms about talking about money. Probably has more to do with it. YTA. Their marriage is one of your business. It doesn't matter if she works or not. When your brother asks for money, you can just say no. NTA for not loaning him money. YTA for calling his wife lazy and insulting her. A simple no would have sufficed. Yikes. At least a bit. Totally okay to not provide lunch money to a 27-year-old brother. Perhaps I would have said, last time. Or what is your plan going forward? But that is me. But you don't insult his wife. If Amy wants to provide lunch money, she should do so rather than try and guilt her sister. And, likely, Nora. Fun fact. What goes on in their marriage is none of your business. You are NTA if you don't want to loan your brother money. But for your assumptions about her health and your opinions on things you aren't involved in, YTA. Geez, I don't know if she don't have any problem that prevents her from working. Anxiety can have so many forms, even only showing in some situations. So I can't definitely say she's an AH. If money isn't enough to pay the bills and food, perhaps the wife could get an online job? Something that didn't require face-to-face. But you don't have to bank your brother. Help him sometime. But you're not required to. Letting your brother go hungry is not a very nice thing to do. There's a lot I don't know about this situation. Only what you think about it. Info. Have you ever asked your brother or know for a fact that they spent money in luxury instead of paying bills? Because many people struggle to make ends meet. And you don't really know if the wife has, and on what level, anxiety, or if it's been treated. YTA for bringing his wife into it. It's clear you don't like her. That's fine. Keep it to yourself. Ta for not loaning him money. A simple, sorry, little lean myself this month, would do just fine. YTA. Has anyone considered that Nora might be autistic? Seriously. An hour talking about dinosaurs without letting anyone else talk. Missing social cues. Asking inappropriate questions. Being a know-it-all. Knowing specific and detailed things about stuff that doesn't pertain to her. Like how to cook a steak. And the anxiety. Sounds like she could easily be an undiagnosed autistic woman to me. If you don't see the anxiety, it could very well be because of masking. Masking is so exhausting, and too much time in certain situations that require more masking can lead to burnout, especially if there is other sensory overload. You are allowed to dislike Nora. You definitely don't have to give them money. Nora is allowed to be herself, and their relationship dynamic is none of your business. You can have empathy, be respectful, and have boundaries all at the same time. You don't have to judge Nora as lazy and a leech. That's you being an asshole. Something like, I'm sorry you are struggling and I'm not able to lend you money right now, is a good option. You could suggest food banks. Suggest applying for government assistance. Or maybe see if either of them would donate plasma. What you definitely can do is keep your judgments to yourself. That's the only part of this that makes you the asshole. NTA. Because it's your money and it is you who ultimately decides what to do with it. But there is also an she seems socially awkward. Which can be one symptom of anxiety. You made yourself available by helping them. Your brother sort of depends on you to always be there when he needs help. You stopped this very suddenly and left him hanging because you're frustrated. I'd recommend telling your brother that you can't support him for the rest of his life. And that he needs to have his wife diagnosed so she can get treatment and they both get assistance. If she refuses, you can walk away with your head held high instead of going on Reddit and ask total strangers to cast judgment on you. NTA for the lunch money. But ta for how you talk about Nora. Have some compassion. She didn't develop anxiety to annoy you. P.S. Tell Nora that T-Rex is my favorite and I'd be happy to discuss dinosaurs with her. YTA. The reason why is that you insulted his wife. Does not matter if you view her as lazy. does not matter if she does or does not have a job. You are not a doctor and thus really do not know what her problem is. But that is only between your brother and his wife. You could have told him no. That you are tapped until a future date, etc. Or that you have figured it is time for him and his wife to figure this out and that you can no longer afford to pay for the shortcomings in his bills or life. But beyond that whatever are you and your sister going to do when they get evicted for non-payment of rent? Or the lights at their place goes out? Or any number of other expenses that he is short on that you or your sister have had to help with? That is what you should be looking at and deciding on if you will or will not help him out. Especially if he is not paying you or your sister back. Then that is the real issue there. AITA. Anxiety is real, and she could have an undiagnosed condition. From what you've mentioned, autism is a possible contender. It's not your place to judge others' lifestyle. If you don't want to lend money, then don't, but there is no need for the judgment. If her looking after the household is what they think is best for them, then that's their business. Life shouldn't be judged by how much money someone makes. AITA sounds like you just can't stop yourself from judging the poor girl. The money question seems a bit blunt, but other than that you just sound like a mean girl. I don't think you need to loan money, but your reasoning makes you the AITA not for refusing to help but for the way you treat and talk about your sil. Sounds like she's neurodivergent, ADHD and possibly autistic. IDK what you think anxiety looks like, but most people don't notice it. BCS anxious people are good at hiding it most of the time. Try kindness, maybe explain to her why some topics are just a no-go and see if you can get to know her a bit better. A little tolerance and kindness goes a long way. You're NTA for not wanting to loan money. You are TA for deciding it's your place what your brother's marriage looks like and openly judging a woman who sounds ND.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.